Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're diving into some really thought-provoking stuff, ideas that kind of challenge how we think about school, work, and, well, success itself. We're looking at some pretty eye-opening claims suggesting maybe our traditional training sets us up for a certain path. Maybe not always the one leading to real wealth or, fulfillment.
Yeah, our main source for this is some compelling bits from a YouTube video. It's
Okay.
called You've Been Trained to Be Broke. I Did This and Got Rich. And it features Kim Kiyosaki from the Business Motiversity channel. So our mission really is to unpack these views on how we're conditioned, maybe redefine what success truly looks like, and figure out what it takes to forge your own path. We want to pull out those nuggets of wisdom, those actionable things for you.
It's fascinating, isn't it, how often you question these big systems like education and suddenly see how deeply they affect how we think about money, about our careers later on. You often find these perspectives that can really make you rethink your whole approach. Okay, let's jump in. The source kicks off with a really bold claim.
Mm.
The school system doesn't want us to learn about money, that it's basically designed to, quote, pump out good employees that do what they're told. Just think about that for a second. Does that ring true for you? Did school feel like prep for a job or for, like, financial freedom?
Well, what's really interesting is how the source contrasts school with what it actually takes to succeed out there. It says school is often the opposite of what it takes to be successful in real life. Think about the messages. Don't make a mistake.
Right. Big one.
Do as you're told. Take tests by yourself.
Yeah, no cooperating.
No cooperation. And maybe the biggest one, there's only one right answer. Now, that framework, it might make sense in school, but it can create a real gap with the skills you actually need later. Being adaptable, solving messy problems, working together.
And the source talks about the emotional impact, too. People coming out scared to death of making a mistake, feeling paralyzed, trying to do everything on their own, lacking that synergy or ability to brainstorm. It even uses the word criminal for how the system can crush a kid's spirit for learning. Asks if any teacher really asked what you were interested in, not just what was on the syllabus. Do you think that's too strong, criminal, or does it hit on something real?
I think the strong language, it's meant to make us think, right? To highlight a key issue. If learning isn't driven by genuine interest, if creativity gets sidelined, well, then you often need a whole reprogramming after school. And it's not just about forgetting bad habits. It's about actively finding what excites you again, building that mindset for passion and purpose, not just following the steps laid out. It's a big internal shift many people face.
That idea of reprogramming, it leads pretty naturally to thinking about other paths, like entrepreneurship. Kim Kiyosaki's own story has mentioned getting fired twice from the same job out of college.
hmm
That experience, it often lights a fire, doesn't it? Makes you want to build your own thing.
Oh, absolutely. But then there's this common myth, the source points out. People leaving jobs think entrepreneurship means now my time is my time, all this free time.
Mm.
But the reality, especially at the start, it's the opposite. No, you work 20/47. That 9 to 5 employee mindset just doesn't map onto building something new. It can be a real shock.
Yeah, so definitely not for the faint of hearts, as the source says.
Mm-hmm.
Being an entrepreneur means you're always pushing the envelope.
Mm.
Because fundamentally, an entrepreneur's job is to solve problems, which means
Hmm.
every day throws something unexpected at you, stuff you didn't expect, and you just got to deal with. No instruction manual for that.
And that's exactly where first-timers coming from jobs can stumble. This source gives this really clear example. A guy in Phoenix, Arizona, decides to start a business. First thing he does, rents a nice office space, buys all the nice furniture, gets a secretary, all before making a single dollar.
Right. Playing the part before actually, doing the business part.
Exactly. He's focused on the appearance, the look of a business, before the actual function, which is making money. It's a very common trap, investing in the image before the substance.
And the advice against that is so sharp, so practical. Make the money first, then go rent your office if you even need an office.
Mm-hmm.
Drives home that successful entrepreneurs, they all started out of their home. It's about proving the concept, getting revenue, then thinking about overhead. Substance first.
Which is precisely why keeping your full-time job while starting a part-time business can be so smart. It gives you that cushion. You get to start learning what it takes, dealing with the challenges, understanding customers, tweaking your idea without that crushing financial pressure that forces bad decisions. It's a safer way to learn the ropes.
Which brings us to a challenge for you, listening, finding that spare time. The source really pushes us on this. How much time goes into watching TV, scrolling on your iPhone, playing video games, stuff that, let's be honest, is really not important for your big goals. It's a direct challenge. Can you shift that time, your most valuable asset, into building something you care about? Simple idea, but hard to do. Okay, let's shift gears a bit. Let's talk about the essential traits, not just for entrepreneurs, but for navigating life, really. What are those core characteristics for success?
Well, there's this fascinating study mentioned in the source looking at centenarians, people who lived past 100.
Wow, wait.
They tried to find common threads, and they found three main things. First, a sense of purpose. Big or small, didn't matter. They had one. Second, they were generally optimistic. And third, they showed real resiliency.
Resiliency, how do they define that exactly?
It's more than just bouncing back. It's about learning from the setback, adjusting your approach, using failure as, like, data. It's that process of getting back up, figuring out what went wrong, and finding a new way forward, not just falling down and staying there.
And that connects directly, the source says, to being a good entrepreneur. It emphasizes if you're not resilient and you can't persevere, do not become an entrepreneur. That ability to bounce back, learn, keep going, it's not just nice to have, it's essential, almost like a ticket to entry.
Absolutely. And this broadens out to growth in general, right? The source really hammers home that real growth, real transformation, it requires getting out of our comfort zone.
Yeah.
It mentions Emerson basically saying, if you're not facing something you fear every day, you don't understand the secret of life. Because that discomfort zone, that's where growth and transformation happens. Pushing those boundaries is where change occurs.
Which reinforces that idea. Even though we hate making mistakes, we really
Yeah.
do, and hate failing, that's honestly where we learn the most. If we can actually stop and take the lesson of the failure, extract the wisdom, not just feel bad about it, it's tough, but that's where breakthroughs happen. Okay, so let's tackle a really common phrase. Do what you love and the money will follow. Sounds nice, but
Yeah, the source offers a, let's say, more nuanced take, a more realistic one maybe. It argues it's not just do what you love. It's more like do what you love. Where's the problem you're solving? Where can you be a contribution? Then you work your butt off and then the money will come. It adds that crucial layer of hard work. And, importantly, focusing on contribution, on solving something for someone. Passion alone isn't the whole equation. It needs a valuable output.
that really shifts the focus, doesn't it?
Yeah.
From just selling a product to thinking about making a contribution, impact first.
Exactly. And connecting that to the bigger picture, it leads to this really powerful idea. If you truly believe your product or service is going to help people and help the masses, then, the source argues, you have a responsibility to make your business successful so that people hear about you and to get it out to the world. Wow.
It becomes about more than just you. It's about getting your solution to the people it can help. That belief creates an obligation almost to succeed and share it.
So just to wrap up this deep dive, we've definitely gone through some challenging ideas today. Questioned the education system's impact on our money mindset, looked at the tough realities and the myths of entrepreneurship.
Right, the 24/7 versus free time idea.
Yeah, exactly. And highlighted those key traits: purpose, optimism, and that crucial one, resilience.
And it all really points to this core message of intentional growth, doesn't it? Actively choosing to step into discomfort, keep solving problems, because that's where the real transformation lies, outside the easy and familiar.
So as we finish up, here's something for you to think about. If growth really does happen when you face something you fear, what one small fear could you maybe choose to confront tomorrow, just to spark your own growth?